Another huge conference matchup here. We have James Madison at Troy. Troy is a field goal favorite. It has an over-under of 47.5 points. So this game kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. They've actually been putting some interesting matchups there. Kind of the Island of Misfit Toys, I think is what they're putting on NFL Network so far. But this is actually a pretty darn good game. James Madison just secured a big win over a state school. That's always good to see. Like you mentioned, continuing along the trends that you've been talking about all episode. They're getting it done on the ground, but it was also against one of the worst rush defenses in the country last week. So we'll see if they can repeat that. They may continue, though, to find success against Troy, who's 85th in rushing success rate allowed. And this isn't against the best rushing teams in the country. One was against SF Austin, and the other one was Kansas State. So, they're a bit outmatched up there. I'm worried about the Trojans defense. They gave up 30 points to SF Austin. I have to imagine that is unacceptable among the coaching and playing ranks there. SF Austin is a good FCS team, but they're not a burning FCS team unless they've seriously improved offensively from what I've seen. And then they gave up a more expected 48 points to Kansas State. Can't really fault them there, but toss up to me. What do you think?
Yeah, the Sun Belt might be my favorite conference race to track currently, Brett. In the East, Coastal Carolina, App State, and Marshall are all within 2 percentage points of each other to win the division. I've got Coastal at 28, App State at 27, Marshall at 26. James Madison, team in this game, would be right there as well if the Dukes were eligible for the championship game. They are not eligible as they continue their transition period from FCS to FBS. In the West, so that's the East. In the West, I have Troy in this game, 37% chance to win the West, and South Alabama with a 30% chance to win the division. Texas State's rising too. I know it's a team you've talked about. Aha. They're up to 15%. So that they are now the number 3 contender in the West for me. So both of these division races, especially the East, just very, very close. Drilling down on James Madison and Troy, I actually don't project either of these teams to be bigger than a field goal underdog in any of their remaining games this year. So going to be a lot of times they're favored or underdogs in very close games. Should come as no surprise then that I have this game as a pick'em with a very, very slight lean towards Troy. It's a 51% win expectancy. Troy has fallen 3.5 points in my ratings since the start of the season, and they're down from number 63 to number 79. So I haven't loved what I've seen from Troy just yet. Again, Stephen F. Austin, Kansas State, they're going to get better tests for their level here as we start moving forward, including this week. The offense been exactly what I expected, but the defense has been much worse than I anticipated. They've fallen from number 32 to number 56. So been underwhelmed by the defense while the offense has held up their end of the bargain. It's still the best defense in the West, though, and it's the second best defense in the conference by my numbers behind only Marshall. James Madison off to a 2-0 start, wins against FCS Bucknell and on the road at Virginia, as you mentioned. Don't need to talk about that one anymore. Stop scheduling these teams. Virginia, Wake Forest, Old Dominion, just stop scheduling them. Don't do it. Their power rating and ranking both remain unchanged from the preseason, meaning this team has performed exactly as the model thought it would, at least to this point in the year. This game should be strength for strength. Number 59 Troy offense against number 56 JMU defense. The fact that this game is at Troy is what makes the difference for me. Bottom line, I have it as a pick'em, 51% win expectancy for Troy.
You talked about that defense falling. I think that's a result of losing their coordinator, Sheil Wood. He's now at Tulane, and Tulane's defense is looking pretty good. Don't let that 37 points that they allowed to Ole Miss fool you. 7 of those came on defense, and it was a very tightly contested game. So I think if we're looking for a reason to point toward the regression defensively, that's probably why I'm leaning there. But I'm interested to know, because I love hearing about how your championship odds change, or their the odds to make the championship. I could have said that so much more eloquently. But I'd like to know what happens to Troy's Sun Belt Championship odds should they win or lose this game. Obviously, James Madison's still ineligible, so.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, and I like doing it too. It's kind of these leverage games. Within the conference, what does it do to your chances to win your division and or, if you don't have divisions, make the conference championship game? If Troy wins, all else equal, because I always say all else equal because things are going to change with the power ratings. They're going to change with your own team, and they're going to change with your opponents, and that's what's going to inform your chances to achieve these things. But we can't know what those things are, so all else equal, Troy's chances to make the Sun Belt Championship game increases from 37%, which is current, to 46%. So it's a nice little bump by beating a James Madison team that, again, it's a pick'em game. If the Trojans lose, their chances decrease from 37% to 26%. So, this is a significant swing game, if you will, for Troy. It's not as significant as it would be if they were playing South Alabama because they're in the same division, and then the Sun Belt still has divisions. But still, for a non-divisional game within the conference, pretty big swing, and that's because these teams are so evenly matched. The model is basically saying, hey, you're getting a half-game projected win right now and a half-game projected loss. So you're going to pick up a half game either direction. That's why you get such a big swing in this one.
Chances. That's the word I was looking for. The English language is very difficult, especially with really complicated words like chances. Yeah, thanks for that. I also make this one around a pick 'em, so I'd probably lean, if you're looking to bet either team, probably just money line it. I wouldn't take 1 point either way. 0 is a dead number. So if you're interested in action on this one, the line appears to be in favor of Troy pretty consistently. So it bought back to 3. I'm interested to see if that's a high watermark, if it moves back in James Madison's favor, or if the market just really is on Troy in this game.